Welcome to the strategy mapping session. This is a 90-minute session, and it's really designed for you to get all of your thoughts together and to put a structure to what you need to do in business. And I like to think about it like this. When we're trying to be in business, we tend to jump in and try to do all of the tasks. We try to do all of the things. But when you just try to just jump in and do task after task, it's like having a body without bones. There's no structure to hold it all together, and it just flops around. So we want to make sure that we're putting some structure to the vision that we have for our businesses. I want to say hello to everybody. We do have a quick poll here so I can get a feel for what's going on in your business life. This helps me to understand how to approach today and pivot where we need to pivot. So it looks like so far, as you're taking the poll, it's still going on, but it looks like we've got one person who has not started their business yet. We've got 6 of you that have been in business for at least a year. We've got 2 of you that have been in business for at least 5 years. And then we've got 1 of you that is a seasoned business owner. So thank you for sharing that. So there was another question that I was asking you about what I would call your business personality. And I want you to describe what fits you best. You're a selfer kind of gal. I just want to learn and apply and do it all myself. So there are 3 of you that say that. You've got the person who says, hey, I'm not sure what I'm doing and I need direction. That's 2 of you who have said that. There are 4 of you who have said, if someone could do this for me, I would be in total heaven. And nobody has selected, I'm just curious and observing. All right, good to know. So thank you for sharing that. That really is helpful on what we want to do. So those of you that I'm meeting for the first time, an official hello and welcome. You're amongst friends here. As a matter of fact, some of our VIP Center community is here. And what I love about this, it's a testament to what we do at the VIP Center for Business Women. These are women that are hungry. I'm looking at every single one of you, and we've been at various points in your business, and all of you fit these different personalities that we just talked about. And so you recognize the value of what we do at the VIP Center for Business Women. So thank you for raising your hands. So before we jump in, I just want to give you a quick introduction. I'm Angie Nuttall, and I'm the founder of the VIP Center for Business Women, and I am an author, speaker, I'm a business coach and teacher. What we do at the VIP Center is we help to equip women to build their faith and grow in business. And we do that through coaching, through community, through conferences. We also provide done for you services. So those of you that are wishing, oh, I wish someone could come in and do it for me, we actually have that option where we can do that for you. So we are offering this strategy mapping as a way for you to get on track for this next year in your business, whether you've started it or not, whether you have struggled to scale it and grow it, or even if you are just curious. So first of all, how many of you have access to your materials on the Google Drive? You should have gotten that. You'll want to download these documents. If you have to, a notebook will work just as well, but it is nice to have the strategy map and the documents. I will try to show the documents where necessary. Just try to make it easy as possible for you. Okay, let's do a very quick go around. And I just want to give you a moment here to share what was it that made you come today. And I'm going to stop sharing for a moment just so that I can see all of your beautiful faces. Catherine Clift, what was your reason for coming to this workshop today?
I have a sort of a strategy and plan, but I wanted to see if there was something else I could do that might improve it.
Very good. So you're here to improve and maximize. All right. Karen, what made you show up today?
I showed up today because, again, I needed to, while I'm working at it, I wanted to focus more and drill it down. And
Mhm.
also, I always find when I come to your workshops, I'm always walking away with some new tidbit and some new nugget.
Yeah. I love that you're saying that because many of you, as you go through the workshop, you will walk away with a little nugget. You'll walk away with something that's going to add value. And sometimes it just takes that little bitty nugget to set you off in the right direction and where you need to go in your business. So, Sandra, what made you show up today?
Good morning. I'm not good at business,
Okay.
and that's the kind of strategy that I need to improve in.
Okay. All right.
So,
Gotcha. So really you need to have more structure and have a stronger structure around the ministry from the business.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you. Rachel, how about you?
I came because I want to refocus on my strategy for my personal business, not just my pay the bill business.
Great. Love that. Refocus. What a great word. That's a really yummy word. So thank you for sharing that with us. Now we have some way to articulate what we're doing here. All right, Esther, how about you?
So I'm here today because I want to better define, clarify what my business is so that when I'm approaching leads, it's really clear what I do.
Okay. Yeah. So clarity, that is a great reason to be here. That is one of the main reasons why we're here today. And we're going to ask a question around that. So I want you to get that ready in your minds where you are in terms of clarity. All right. I'm going to go with Tam and then Cecily. So, Tam.
Basically, for me, it is to make sure that I'm focusing correctly and I'm moving in the right direction.
Okay, great. To get your focus together and getting in the right direction, getting some confirmations there.
Right.
All right. Cecily Embry, good morning.
I have been super sick for the last 4 months, and so I'm just ready to get back in. I've been in business for a really long time, and I've always been a reinvent the wheel and do it myself girl. But I'm to a stage in my life where I'm already busy doing things, but in order to grow specific businesses and do specific things and actions, that's why I answered. I would love for someone to do it for me. So
Yeah.
I forget a couple of people have said it, but even like in my hairstyling business, I would go to conferences and I would always say, if I can just come away from it with one really good thing that I can implement, it's totally worth the money.
Yes.
So
Yeah. The good news about today is everybody is getting this as a gift. It's not,
wonderful.
usually we give this to paid members, but it is a gift today. And I believe in Luke 6:38, give and it shall be given unto you in good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And whatever you mete out, it will be given back to you. So I trust in that. And so I have no problem giving. All right. So Tamika, what made you show up today?
Um, Strategy and just to re-energize my business to get it back going.
Okay, very good. So we want to like put that, what do they call those things that you put on somebody when their heart has stopped and it's like, what is that?
Defibrillator.
That's a tape.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're doing for you today. Okay. All right, Miss Rita, hey, what made you show up today?
I feel like I've had a good plan. I have the good vision for my business, but I need a more concise strategy
Okay.
for it.
Okay, very good. So conciseness, you want to get it narrowed down and be very focused.
Yeah.
All right. Miss Lander, hello.
Morning. Thanks everyone for not allowing me to feel uncomfortable in this setting. So I'm trying to work and do this at the same time. My goal and objective for the remainder of 2025 is to be my own cheerleader. I'm everyone else's cheerleader, especially for other business owners that I know. I go 100% hard for them. And by the time it comes to me, I'm tired because I've given everything and I'm tired of doing that. Not sounding prideful or selfish, but this really is about me.
Oh, that's good. I hope you enjoy this yummy morsel that you're going to get this morning. All right, Alicia, are you able to come off mute and share what made you show up to today's session?
Sure, I can. I'm not sure if everyone can hear me.
Yep,
Hold,
we can.
hold on one sec. I'm not in the best environment, but I really wanted to join. I'm here for community and strategy.
Great, thank you. You're definitely in the right place because this is a community in the VIP Center, and everyone can tell you that this is a comparison-free community, and it's not one where we're competing with one another. We're actually supporting one another in business, but it's not just about business, it's about life and it's about relationship. So everything that we do is centered around that. So I just want to welcome you all for being here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and jump in. I'm going to move some stuff over to my screen and get ready to share. So in your Google Drive, you should already have all of these documents that I'm going to share with you today. There is our opportunities guide that is in your Google Drive for you to go and check out later. It tells you all about the VIP Center, all of the different things that we do and how we help women and how we equip them in business. Here's what we're going to focus on today. I'm going to tell you the first part of our session is really going to dig into a creative strategy process that I do with my paid clients. And those who have been in my program, Ready, Set, Succeed, or you've been a part of the VIP Center for a pretty good while, you might even recognize this process. This is the key thing that we're going to do today. If we don't have this, then we're really going to struggle in business. So everything else after that is really like cake and icing on the cake. I do want to stop at a certain point. We're going to stop where we can because I know that some of you are going to have questions and I want to be able to do a Q&A. Now that Q&A is going to be, you can ask any question that you want. So I know some of you are here because you want specific answers on how do I do this? What would be a strategy I could implement right now? So I want to give you that time as a gift to just answer any questions that you have, give you some direction, and get you geared up to take the next steps after you walk out of the session today. So the focus areas that we have is, first of all, defining that business vision, making sure that we're clear on that. And we're going to do that in a very creative way. So you have a strategy map in your Google Drive. I printed this off just so that you could see it. It's always nice to print it off and write on it. So we're also going to identify some key marketing and visibility strategies. We're going to talk about business development and sales. I've got some bonus tools for you just to help you get started there. Social media, I have a bonus tool that I'm going to share with you on a social media strategy. And even for my current members, this strategy is a little bit different than what I've taught you in the past because I've gotten new research, and so I'm going to show you what that is. We're going to do a drive-by on package and pricing. I'm just going to walk you through just a really quick strategy on how to get started on that. And by the time we leave here today, I want you to walk away with the strategy map that has you feeling more confident and secure about the direction of your business. So here's the thing. This is actually your workbook, and this is a place where you can jot things down. But what you'll want to do is you'll want to have your strategy map up and available because this is fillable. So we'll want to be filling this strategy map out as we go. Okay, ladies, let's go ahead and get started. So how many of you completed the pre-work? I know some of you haven't because you just signed up like within the last 8 hours. Okay, so some of you did complete your pre-work. There was a questionnaire, and if you didn't complete that before today's session, I do recommend that you go back and do that. It is a very healthy exercise to do to really make you think about what's important in your business. So you won't want to skip that. It's a questionnaire that's pretty thorough, and it helps you to think more clearly through this. So those of you that you completed the pre-work. What I want you to do is post in chat, what was the most helpful thing about doing that pre-work? So you can put that in chat right now. I will call on one person who did complete that. And what was the value for that? I will say that as part of this process, this is something that I've done in my own career. I am a corporate woman turned entrepreneur. And so when I was starting out in my business, I realized immediately one of the important things was to really just gather my thoughts and get that together. Esther, do we have any comments yet on what the value of that exercise is?
Tam said, gave me more clarity as it's helping me define my vision. And by the way,
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
And then someone said, made my vision plain. It made me realize that I was more prepared about my vision. This is another person, services and mission than I thought.
Okay.
So there was some clarity on vision. And
Great.
Yeah, vision is used 3 times by
Fantastic.
3 different people. Yeah.
Yes, that is a major goal of this session right here. And I know we only have 90 minutes to do this, but if you can walk away with the vision and have a little bit of structure to it, you've made progress. Now, I want to ask you a question, and you can post this in chat as well. On a scale of 1 to 5, where are you on the clarity scale in terms of your business and in terms of where you're going with it? So 1 really means, well, I have no clear direction. I have no idea. 2 is it's foggy, I'm not certain, but I'm not completely walking into this with a total loss of direction. 5, all the way up to 5 is I've got total clarity on where I'm going in my vision. I just need help on business strategy or whatever it is that you have. All right, so we've got, oh, wow. So Alicia is like a 7. Fantastic. That's beyond the scale. So you are beyond clear about your business. So we've got some 4s in here. Those are good to see. Catherine's got a 5. Rachel's got a 5. Great. I'm glad to see that my VIPs are up there in the 4s and 5s because that's what we strive to do in our business community through our coaching and our masterminds. Cecily's got a 4. Kay Lander has a 4. So thank you. All right. Fantastic. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to put on our creative hats and we are going to jump right over here to this strategy map. How many of you printed this off? Anybody printed off? Okay, we have a few of you. Yes, I love it when you are prepared. Thank you so much. If you didn't print it off, that's fine. You can just pull it right up on your screen, or you can just take a notebook and write. You can draw this out for yourself. All right, who's ready to go on the visioning journey? Everybody ready? Okay, here we go. This is going to require us to just take a nice deep breath and get ready to go to a creative space. Okay, I want you to imagine that this gal right here is you. That's actually me, but you can envision it as yourself. So I want you to just picture yourself here. And you are on a journey. And there is a sign. This is a road sign. And this sign has a message on it that says where you are right now in your business and in your life, okay? Now, this sign can say anything. It can be anything. There's no prescriptive words that are here. So if you could have this sign say anything that describes where you are right now, I want you to go ahead and write that down or capture that. Now we're going to walk through this and then we're going to come back and look at this page together and discuss, okay? So for example, I might say, warning, expansion in progress. Okay, so if I think about me and the VIP Center, that's what our sign says right now. So jot down. I'm going to give you about a minute to jot that down. All right. About 30 more seconds. We're going to move through this pretty swiftly. All right, everybody got their sign? Yeah? Okay. All right. So we know that our sign has this current state of where we are right now in our journey. And so I want you to think about the roads that you've actually been on. And these roads, I want you to be creative with these. So think about the journey that you've been on. And maybe you've been on the road of vision way, right? You've had a vision for your business, you've been thinking about it, and you've been looking for the way to go. And so you've had a lot of work around this. Maybe you've been on struggle bus lane. You've been struggling, you feel like you're stuck in something, and this could even be a circle, struggle bus circle. You just keep going around in circles and you're not making progress. Maybe you have been on profit deficit road. This can be any road, highway, circle, lane. I want you to identify up to 3 roads that you've been on. Roads, streets, circles, highways. So I'm going to give you a minute or so to jot down what those are while I pull up the correct workbook for us. All right, and I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds. I know we're moving quickly. I see some of you are agreeing with some of the roads and circles and challenges that we've put on our strategy map in terms of roads that you've been on. All right. Let's do a quick check-in here. I'd love for you to just maybe a couple of you, if you want to raise your hand and share what your sign says and what's one road that you've been on. You don't have to share all 3, but Rachel, go ahead and share.
So my sign says building zone, put on a hard hat.
Yeah, good.
And then I have community HOV lane. So those lanes that you can only drive if you have more than one person.
Yeah.
Which is the VIP center.
Oh, fantastic. That's a great road to be on, right? Because you're doing this together. All right. Tamika, share what your sign says and one road that you've been on.
Help, I'm on the road, but how do I get to the road to success? And muted or heard.
And what was the road?
The road muted or unheard.
Oh, unheard. Is that a street, lane, circle?
It felt like a circle.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. The way that we describe these roads are very important. Okay. We have time for one more. Okay. So, Sandra, what about you? What did you come up with?
My sign is caution, potholes.
Ooh. Yeah. So, just tell me what one pothole is very quickly.
Confusion about, or maybe that's lack of clarity. Yeah. One of my roads is doubtful lane.
Anybody struggle with that, with doubtful lane? Can I really do this? Do I have what it takes to do this? Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. As we can see, this is tapping into a part of our brain and parts of our hearts that we normally don't think about with business. And so this gives us a way to think about what's happening in business so that we can actually do something about it.
And yeah. Luanda shared a couple. Rocky Roundabout Way.
Oh my goodness.
Setback Drive.
Hmm.
And then Time Constraint Expressway.
Oh my goodness. These are perfect words. I'm sure that some of you can say, oh my gosh, yes, I totally agree with that. That's happening. I might have called it something different, but I totally relate to that challenge. So we can recognize on our journey so far that there are roads that we've been traveling. We've had challenges. There are also roads that have bright spots in it. And so it could be that we've had other roads that we've traveled on. And this is something that you'll want to think about once we get off the call. What are some of the other roads that I've been on? What are the great things that have happened? with the business? Why did I even get started in this to begin with? Which leads us to the next piece on our map here, and that is purpose. So what exactly is your purpose? Why are you doing this? I want you to take a moment to jot that down on your strategy map. Why are you doing this? All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on. I don't want us to lose sight of this purpose, but we want to fill in a few more pieces of this first page of our map since it's so critical. Okay, so you have this beautiful purpose, the reason why you are doing this. If I think about this for the VIP Center and why we exist, we really are here to be about the Father's business. And so we are a faith-based organization. And so if I think about my purpose is to help women to get out of their spiritual prisons so that they can step up to their calling and operate in their calling in the marketplace. They know that they have a calling, they know that they have a purpose, they know they need to do something, but they don't really know how to structure it and go into the marketplace and be both purposeful and profitable at the same time. So I help them to be able to get to that place so that they can be profitable for not just for the kingdom, but to take care of their families. So that is my purpose through the VIP Center. And so with that, I know that there are certain roads that I want to travel on. You have roads that you want to travel on as well. So think about what those roads are. What are those roads? And this is very similar to the roads that we've been on. But if you could name, for example, a highway that you want to be on, maybe you have a coaching business, for example, and you want to reach women through your coaching program. And so maybe it's program highway. This can be something very simple. It could be something very tactical. It could be need-based. It could be self-actualization. So jot down some roads or highways or streets that you want to travel on in the future, that you want to get onto. And as you finish that, you're welcome to plop some of those streets, highways, and lanes and drives into the chat so that we can see where you're going to. Sandra, Finance Freeway, woohoo! Tamika, Success Highway. Yeah, so as you're writing, I want to jump into the Success Highway because I think all of us want to get there. And I want to challenge you to take that even deeper. Success Highway, what streets lead to that? What on-ramps lead to that? And same with Finance Freeway. So when we say Finance Freeway, what are some of the roads that are going to lead you there? We're on a journey. So if you were to break that down, Lawanda is saying engagement parkway. So to get to engagement parkway, that might be networking street. Could be anything. And it doesn't even have to just be business terms. It could be freedom from debt drive. All right, consistency highway. Excellent. Cecily, generosity express, inspiration interstate, freedom pass. Oh, love it, love it. Confidence circle. Thank you, Catherine. That's excellent. Okay, 10 more seconds and we're going to move on to the next piece of the map. All right. Here's the thing about business. We're up in the clouds right now thinking about vision and strategy, and we're thinking creatively. So we have to be realistic about our journey too, and we have to face the obstacles that we know are going to jump into our path. And so that can mean potential detours, potential roadblocks, and potential intersections that we may come across. Now, I want you to think realistically, and I want you to just pick one for right now, because this is an exercise that really does require more thought. But what is a potential detour that you may be facing as you run your business? So I think about right now, just even myself, I have a terminally ill mother. And because of that, anyone who's ever dealt with that, you know that can get you off of the highway for a little while, right? And I recognize that is a detour that is inevitable. It's going to happen. And so just calling it out helps me to be prepared and have things in place to deal with that. Maybe you know that there's a potential roadblock. It could be maybe your spouse isn't on board with your plan. It could be a roadblock that you know that you're going to have to deal with and come up with some alternative routes for this. Maybe it's an intersection that you're going to come across. Maybe it's you're working a full-time job and you're trying to get this business started. You know that you're going to have to deal with that intersection. So let's just identify one for now. And once you identify that, you're welcome to share in chat just to keep this going and identify what one of those detours, roadblocks, or intersections might be for you. So Tamika, you're saying doubt. All right. Are you saying that is a detour, roadblock, or intersection? All right. Lawanda says 2 active teenagers and a full-time corporate job. Yep. So you have an intersection with that corporate job, and then those 2 active teenagers could be a detour, could be a roadblock. I will encourage you that roadblocks are meant to go around. So if there is a mental block there, just know that there's always an alternative route to get to where you need to go. A roadblock is not finality. Okay, Catherine, finances. Okay, Cecily, an extra full house right now. Yeah. So you see, it's important for us to recognize this, and there is always an answer. There's always a solution to these roadblocks, and we just simply have to call it out. Time is definitely one of those. Husband's health could be a detour, so we have to come up with a plan to deal with that. Day-to-day busyness, gotcha. Okay, we're going to keep going on our map because I want you to understand how to do a deeper dive on this once we finish with this today. I want you to go to the future now, and I want you to think about 1 year from now. Your billboard, what is your sign going to say? You will have accomplished a lot. You will have taken this strategy map and started to put legs to it and actions, and focused actions is what I mean. Write down what your billboard sign is going to say. And even at this point, are there some actions that you can think of that will actually get you there? This could be like a start, stop, continue. The action is, I need to start doing this. I need to stop doing this, or I need to continue going on this path. All right. What's your billboard sign? And so I might say here that my billboard sign is that VIP Center for Business Women is, bigger and bigger than ever because we are going through expansion, as a matter of fact. And if I think about an action right now, we are selling our current location because we've outgrown it and moving into a new location, right? That might be an action that we're working on. It could be a number of things. So take time to think about your billboard sign and even just one action that you know that you need to take to get there. All right, and then if anybody has already written their billboard sign, I'd love for you to come off mute and share what you put for your billboard 1 year from now. Catherine, go ahead.
My billboard said, "Look out, world, here I come."
Can I challenge you to make that say, "Look out, world, here I am"?
Thank you. I can do that. Yes. Love it, Angie.
Well, yeah, we're speaking life into this. So we know that
true.
Working through business, it's always a journey, but this is like putting a pin in, hey, 1 year from now, this is my declaration of what's going to be happening. What is happening at this point in time in my business? We're rolling now. All right, very good. So thinking about this, yes, Ms. Lander, speaking life. Absolutely. We are speaking life into the future of our businesses. And so I want to encourage you to get more definitive when you are working on this on your own and you're adding some meat to the bones of this strategy here. And that means specific action. So that means if the VIP Center for Business Women is bigger than ever, the action that's required is to actually sell our current location and be in a bigger space where we can accommodate more women for our conferences. It also requires us to scale some of the activities that we're doing and that we're expanding our team. And so it means preparing financially for that. So these are some actions that we need to take. And these can be very specific actions, like I need to stop procrastinating. I need to stop putting this off because I'm afraid, and I need to start blocking off every Monday from 8 to 10 to focus solely on business development. That's the level of clarity and crispness that we need to get to in our plan. We need to have very specific actions. Does anyone have a specific action that you know that you need to do in order to make this vision happy and make it real and make it actionable? Tam.
For me, something that I tend to shy away from is
social engagement. Okay. Yeah. So what would be an action step to get over that?
Actually doing videos so that I can do reels.
Yeah.
On different social platforms.
Yeah, exactly. That is a tangible thing that you can do. And I guarantee that even if you were to focus on that one activity to get her done, you would start attracting the clients that you're looking for. Focusing in on 1 to 2 key activities is key to your success. Where we get into trouble is where we name 25 things that we need to do in business to be successful, and we end up doing none of them. or we might do a few of them and not do them well. So we've got to get over that mindset. Okay, so for LaWanda, you're saying doing the work with intention. Absolutely. Cecily's saying build my team, building your team. Absolutely. Okay. So who wants to be profitable? Yeah, said everyone. We need to be profitable. Why? Let me tell you, guilt will come in and just jack up your mindset and make you think that, oh, I don't deserve, I shouldn't be paid for what I'm worth. That is contrary to what the Word of God says. God will teach you to be profitable and teach you in the way that you should go. So here we're going to move down to profitability. We're going to keep going on the map. Now I'm going to tell you profitability is driven by 3 things. All right. First, and these are not in any particular order for the purposes of this exercise. The first thing is purpose. So profitability is driven by purpose. That means that if you don't have a purpose for what you're doing, you're like that body without bones. You're flopping around. You're just hitting and missing. All right. Second, consistent focus. You're not going to be profitable if your attention is scattered and you're like running around on this journey, jumping on highways and then just running off on side roads and running into circles. You're not going to get anywhere until you really focus on your direction and head that direction. And then the third thing, hey, I'm going to tell you, this is just the truth of the matter. It takes faith to be profitable. I have learned this. I was in corporate for over 20 years and had just this blanket of security. And when I jumped into entrepreneurialism, I realized, oh my gosh, this really is an act of supernatural faith. There are a lot of women out there who say, oh, I'm successful and I'm making a lot of money. But I guarantee that in order to really, truly be successful in business, that supernatural faith has got to be there, because that is the difference between you and a businesswoman who is not walking in faith. You are the one who can actually walk through the door and be impactful and live your purpose. So those are the key ingredients. All right. So how do we become profitable? Let me tell you, there are some key things that we have to have together. First of all, we have to know who our ideal clients are. Who is your person? All right. How many of you have ever done this exercise where you've really thought about, well, who is my person? Who is the person that I am talking to? This is one of the most critical areas of your business strategy that you will do, because if you are targeting the wrong person, then everything that you do is going to be off. You're not going to be on the right road. You're going to get on the crooked path. You're not going to be on the straight path. So really quickly, who is your ideal client? Who is your ideal person? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a moment to jot that down. So as you're writing this, you'll notice that I put here a very specific person. So here's the thing, don't be afraid to niche down. I would say that this is one of the biggest downfalls of a business is you're trying to cast a wide net and get everybody is not your client. And so if you say, hey, everybody, I have a business, those people are not going to hear you calling their name. If I'm saying, hey, everybody, versus saying, hey, Alicia, I just called out your name. Natalie, I just called out your name. When I do that, guess what you do? You lean in and you pay attention. It's the same thing with our ideal clients. You have to call them out by name. And so if I look at what we do, my person is a faith-based businesswoman who needs to get unstuck from a mindset that she can't do this and lack of business knowledge. She may be even in a spiritual prison, but she's an expert in her field and she needs to turn it into a business. She needs community. She needs help. She may be a do-it-yourselfer, but she may even need done-for-you services to stand up, grow, and scale her business. So notice that's very specific about who my target audience is. So let's just keep going. Who is not your person? For me, this is very simple. I don't coach entrepreneurial men. I do have a corporate segment to my business, and I actually have had executive men leaders as part of my audience there, but this is very separate from the VIP Center for Business Women. And I do not advertise them together. I do not pair them together because people will get confused about what my business is about. All right. And you're welcome to post who your person is not in chat as we go along. This warrants some thinking. This might even be painful for you all when you do this by yourself. Who is not my person? We want to include everybody. We want to make sure that we're not missing out on someone or we're leaving somebody out. But we're also driven by, oh, I just want to reach out to everybody and hope that somebody gets my services, that they understand what it is that I do. But it's a mistake to do that. All right. We're going to jump right down into services and products. I'm going to give you 60 seconds to, in this bucket here where it says services and products, I want you to jot down everything that you can think of that you have to offer. And so that might be, I offer a one-on-one coaching package. I'm a speaker, so I offer speaker packages, or I provide financial coaching, or I have a membership, a subscription. Include your products. Are you an author? Do you have books? Do you do t-shirts? Are you a more product-based person? So go ahead and jot all of those down. All right, as you're jotting those down, I've given you an example here. So if I think about the VIP Center, we offer a wide variety of services for the entrepreneurial women. So one-on-one coaching and startup. You can have a turnkey business as you're starting up or you're scaling and growing your business. You can get the whole package. You can get business coaching through group memberships and community activities. You can get strategy sessions. We offer workshops, conferences. We have books. We have done-for-you services a la carte. So maybe you're starting your business and you have just one area. Let's say, for example, you don't have a speaker kit, but you're a speaker and you need that. We can create a whole kit for you. So you may have different services. I'd love for you to post some of those in chat if you can. What are some of the services and products that you offer? Go ahead and post that. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to do that. All right. Anybody want to come off mute very quickly and just share what some of your services and products are?
I'll do t-shirts, journals, and coaching.
Yep. Yes. And are those faith-based, Tamika?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you have products, you have branded products. Very good. Okay. So Alicia, real estate consulting for religious and historical organizations. Great. Sandra, keynotes, retreats, workshops, Bible studies. Rachel, family communication workshops. Excellent. All right. So when you get by yourself, I want you to really hash this out and make sure that you're capturing everything that you offer, because I'm going to tell you a really effective way to be profitable, and that is by creating a premium offer that includes everything in the kitchen sink, and then you can create downsells from that. So when I talk about a premium offer, this means that you could package everything together and it would just be one price. So this might feel scary to some of you. It could be like, oh, I don't know, I'm afraid of the big price tag. I'm going to tell you that when someone, we know, let's just take women, for example. I've worked with a lot of women who have a very frugal mindset and they struggle to invest in themselves in coaching, but they will turn around and spend $400 on a purse. Or or if it's let's say that they've got cellulite thighs and they will pay thousands of dollars for liposuction, but they won't invest in their business. And this is the mindset that we have to just shut down. If we need to cancel anything, that's what we need to cancel. We need to cancel that mindset. And so I want you to move past that roadblock, and we're not going to do this right this second, but I want you to just put a note here for yourself to really think about what are all of the possible services and products and bonuses you could offer in just one big package. And you could even call this your platinum package. You can name this package. So I have a package and it's called the Ready, Set, Succeed. Ready, Set, Succeed basically includes all of this over here in the services and products. And it can be, that also includes done for you website, done for you social media for 9 months, done for you business development plan, done for you funnel, all of everything that you could ever want as my ideal client, you can get in this package, right? And it would be, I would charge $12,000. That's actually a great bargain, considering everything that you get. But what I want you to do is I want you to list out everything that they would get and what you would charge for that. Now, here's a bonus tip for you. If you're like, I don't know what to charge, I challenge you to drop your information, share all of your information in ChatGPT. You can get a free account, drop it in there, drop in who your ideal client is, all of the services and products that you offer, drop it into ChatGPT and ask it to compare what you do with others who provide similar services and give you a price range of what you could charge. So that is an AI ChatGPT bonus that you can throw in there. And you can ask ChatGPT to give you a pricing range for you. All right. So the other piece about profitability is you have this premium offer, but you also want to take whatever is in this premium offer and create some downsells. So for example, I might have a downsell, and this is exactly what we have. So we have business membership. So you might, in your business, you might say everybody might not be able to afford that $12,000. So I'm going to offer a business membership, which is $99 a month. That's a much easier pill to swallow. And if you take That's about $1,200 a year. All right. So that's $1,200 a year. You could also have another downsell where it could be, I don't have time for business membership. I don't need the community. I just need a service done. And so let's say that you want a speaker package done. You just need a speaker package. This is what we call in the VIP Center partnerships. So the downsell could be a specific partnership. And so a speaker package might be $800. So that's still, so you see, you just narrow it down to a funnel and you create just a couple of really strong downsells. Where we get into trouble is when we have more than 3 things to offer. That's where people get confused. And so that's where you have to have packages. People love the packages, okay? All right, if you have a question about this, you're welcome to post that in chat as we go along. It's 9:11. We've got about 4 more minutes before I want to open it up for some Q&A. So let's go to our next page in terms of visibility focus. There are 3 things that you need to get focused on visibility, and that is you need consistency. That's one of the biggest areas of problem for women in business, that they struggle to get focused on and zooming in on exactly what they need to be doing. All right. And then the next thing, again, here we come again, purpose. What is your purpose? What is it that you need to speak to your audience that flows through your social media and your marketing? All right. And then here we come again. Guess what? This requires faith. And in order to do this, it's consistency, purpose, and faith. All right, let me just check in the chat and see if we have any questions or thoughts so far. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a quick exercise. Now, I want you to go over to your workbook, all right? So we've worked through a few pages here. So we're going to scroll down and you're going to go to Visibility Strategy Map. And I want you to take a look at these marketing activities. There is a checklist. It actually runs over into 2 pages. And very quickly, I want you to pick up to 3 marketing activities that you could potentially focus on. So we're taking a shortcut here. Now, I want you to pick a high-level area, okay? Because this is something that you'll want to just dig deeper into later. And so maybe as part of your strategy, you recognize that, hey, I've got to build my online presence. So I need to focus on that area. I'm going to put that down as part of one of my 3 areas. And let's say, let's see, also lead generation. I know lead generation is a business development activity, but it's also a marketing activity. And this is one of my favorites because I believe in lead magnets. I believe in this whole lead generation process. It's part of the success of my own business. So it could be social media marketing. Maybe you're more of an organic gal and you like to connect with people, and that's where your focus needs to be, okay? So go ahead and drop in your up to 3. Let me get here to it. So marketing. Lead generation. Networking and community. So let's say that those are your areas. Anybody want to call out an area that you know that you need to get focused on in terms of your marketing?
Events and webinars.
Events and webinars, yes. Even now, we're doing an event, and the truth of the matter is this is exactly how we bring a lot of clients into the VIP Center, because they get to taste and experience what it's like to work with us. So that's a great one. All right, anyone else want to share a marketing area that you know that you need to focus on that will get you to that billboard sign 1 year from now? Tam.
Content strategy.
Content strategy, absolutely. And the beautiful thing about the workbook, it gives you some very tangible steps that you can take to do that. So you can go back and research this on your own. All right. Now I want to show you something as part of your strategy map here. So social media, how many people love social media management? Said no one ever, right? Yeah, and so we always want to make that easier, but the truth is social media is critical to the success of your business. And so you can choose to get it done for you. That's always an option. You know it's going to cost, but it does save you money and time, and it actually helps to develop new leads. Or you can have a strategy in place. And so I have a strategy for you. It's called the 3-1-1+2 strategy, okay? And basically, this strategy has 7 days of posting, all right? So this is a little bit different than what I've taught my VIPs in the past. So there are 7 things to this. All right, first of all, your first day, you're going to put out an inspire post. All right, this is designed to tap into the emotion of the people in your audience. All right, people respond emotionally first before they do anything. And so that's what attracts people to begin with. So this is going to be a post that is inspiring. This could be something, it could be a quote. It could be an inspiring quote from a prominent woman. It could be a scripture. It could be just something that just talks to the heart of your person. The second post that you want to have is an educational post. Now, this post is designed to get people to start to understand that you are an expert in your area. You can provide them information about the trends in social media. So if you're a social media marketer, what are the trends in social media marketing, and what are the top 5 things that you need to do to get people engaged, right? So you can do that educational post. All right. And then you can have what we call an engagement post. This post is one that takes information and feeds off of that educational post. And it could be, hey, are you an entrepreneur who's trying to get your social media marketing going? What's your biggest struggle? It's really asking your audience to respond to your educational post, okay? And that's posted on the 3rd day. All right, so the 4th day is now going to be another educational post. And this is also with credibility. So when I say credibility, you position yourself to share something educational, could be about your business, but you also include, maybe it's a testimonial that you have from someone. It could be, what your experience is. My experience has been, I've been in the business for 15 years, and my clients say that this is what they love about my services. You could post an actual testimonial, okay? All right. And so then the 5th thing that you're going to do is you're going to post another engagement post. All right. That means you're going to invite them to react to what you have said. And then these last 2 days are going to be call to action. These are call to action posts, okay? So for example, call to action might be book a call. Second call to action could be attend my workshop or get a breakthrough call. This is an excellent strategy. This is a little bit different than what I've taught before because things have changed since COVID, and we have seen trends where people, we have to tap into their emotion, and they have to know that you're credible. Those are so important, and it's only then that we can start to invite them to a call to action. Now, if you have a warm audience that you've been working with, like I have I've got a hot audience in here, and I've got a warm audience, and I've got a cold audience all in this room here. So I have members that you are hot leads, you're hot. We've got some of our Purple Life members who aren't necessarily involved in the business aspect. You're warm, you're starting to warm up, and you're getting a little bit more. And then we have some of you that I'm meeting for the very first time. So this strategy is designed to work for those cold and those warm leads to develop business. And so I want to give you a couple of business development leads. We do have some content in the workbook for you around business development, and you'll see that there are some key business development activities in here. But I want to give you a couple of very concrete things that you can do to develop business, all right? And one of those is, if you are a businesswoman, if your services are geared towards you want to connect with other people in business, I guarantee that spending 15 minutes a day in LinkedIn, connecting with new people every day, you will start to build an audience that you can begin to work with. And this just means going and connecting with people in LinkedIn. You start searching for your ideal person. You can actually do a search for connections that fit your parameters, and you can connect with new people and build your audience. So the second tip that I want to give you around business development is by creating lead magnets. That means maybe you create a PDF document on your area of expertise. So I'm just going to lean on social media marketing, for example. Let's say you're a social media marketer and you want to create a very compelling lead magnet that talks about the 5 mistakes that new business owners make when they're trying to manage their social media marketing, right? And then it has a call to action at the end. These are some tips that are tried and true, but the thing is that you have to apply the consistency, make sure that you're reaching out to the people that are tied to your purpose, and you're doing this in faith. And I'm going to tell you, when I go out to seek leads, I pray over every encounter. That is my act of faith. And even over this session, I prayed today that the right women would be here and that they would get something, that they would be able to walk away with something that they need, but that they would also become connections. Those are business development tips. Sales success tips. I'm going to open it up for a Q&A here in just a moment. So I would love for you to post your questions as I get ready to open it up for answers on that. But you do also have another tool that I've given you in your workbook, and it's the sales conversation overview. So those of you who are in my community, you know that the way that we approach sales is relational. It's a relationship that you have to walk through. And I've given you the 8 steps that are needed for a successful sales conversation and how you can walk through that conversation and bring someone to say yes to your services. All right. You'll notice also in here that we do have some opportunities for you. If you want to just jump right in and say, okay, I need more of this, you can absolutely do that. I'll tell you about that here in just a moment. But let's go ahead and open it up. Now you can ask any question. You can ask a question around a particular area. Maybe it's sales, business development, marketing. Maybe you need help on something. So who would like to open it up with a question? And it can be anything. Rachel.
I was interested when you said about the second engagement post that you're inviting reaction. Does that tend to lead to confrontation or diversion?
Here's what I will say about this. If you are consistently calling to your target audience and you are building a social media presence that draws your particular audience, that is going to reduce the amount of kickback that you get. Now, once you get into Facebook ads, that's a little trickier because you've got trollers out there looking for opportunities to just to complain. But I would say that when you do get those nasty comments, you have the power to shut those down. You can actually turn those off. And so you just need to be prepared for that. But if you are really zoomed in on the target audience, that will be few and far between. All right. What other questions? Catherine.
Tell me more about the speakers package. I didn't realize you had that.
Yeah, so we do have a speakers package. It's a done for you service. It's what we call a partnership. So we help create your entire package that you would need in order to get good speaking engagements. We have different levels of that. So there are different price points for that. The ultimate package is going to include us creating your speaker page on your website. It's going to include creating your what we call the speaker kit. When someone is asking, they're looking at you, they want a profile of you, so it includes the photos. We do a photo shoot. It has the topics that you're discussing. It's basically that kit that you hand over to someone who is seeking a speaker. And when you're applying for speakership, we can also do video reels, promo reels for you. So there's a whole package and then a couple of downsells to that. So if you're interested in learning more about that, link is actually for everyone. You can book a call with me, and I'll put this here for you too, Catherine, to learn more about it. Let me just get it here. It is angienovel.com/book a call. Anyone can click on this link and you can follow up for a free consultation on that. All right. Who else has a question?
Angie, I have one. This is Lawanda. I am interested in starting a YouTube channel, just focusing on and showing the how to of what I do. Because
Yeah.
again, I make wigs, I make press on nails. I just don't know where to start.
So it's interesting that you say that because every year we offer a beach retreat to our members. And this June, we have a beach retreat where that is exactly what we're going to focus on. And it's going to be how to start up a YouTube channel. And then in our membership community for our business membership, after we come back, we're going to start breaking that down for the rest of the members. So here's something that I would tell you, just a tip right off the bat. First of all, don't just go out and plop a channel out there and start creating videos. It needs to be targeted. You want to draw the right people. And that means not plopping down a YouTube channel and inviting all of your friends and family, because if you do that, you're not going to draw the right target audience. YouTube, just like all other social media platforms, it has an algorithm. And when you start inviting the wrong people to your algorithm, you're going to continue to draw the wrong people to your algorithm.
Okay.
So this really does require a strategy if you want it to be done right. This is something that the VIP Center is doing right now as well. We've had a YouTube channel, but this year we're building it and growing it, and we have a strategy and a plan. So I encourage you, first of all, it needs to be thought out. If you want to talk more about that, you can set up a call with me and we can talk through that.
Gotcha. Will do. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Who else has a question?
I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
Sorry, I am in the midst of deciding between what it is that I want to offer for free versus what I want to be on the profitable side. And I'm struggling with trying to decide where to divide those things. Is there anything that you could say or suggest as any kind of rule of thumb or anything like that to make a determination as to what should be free versus what should be of cost?
Yeah. One of the things about giving free offers is you're always going to be good when you're offering strategy, right? So if I think about, so you offer content, tell me a little bit more about your business.
I have two separate things. The thing that I'm more established in is like desserts, that kind of thing. I'm big with cheesecake is my main area. What I'm working to develop right now is a company to, in some ways, assist families with child development, like in-home child development for their children if they've had some sort of a setback due to a medical condition. So like dealing with like developmental delays.
Yeah.
So in my mind, when I think of that, I just keep thinking about my own situation and helping other people. But I know if I dive into it the way that I want to and provide all the things that I know to do with my background in education and child development, along with my experience with my own child, that it's going to consume me in a way that I'm going to have to really decide that I'm doing this and like nothing else, or am I going to be able to gain from this financially so that I really can do all that it will entail.
I would say for anything, the safe bet is you can always offer a free consultation. And in that consultation, you're listening, you're hearing what their challenges are. And you might say, okay, when I'm doing these consultations, I'm going to offer one freebie. I'm going to offer one bonus, or maybe I'll offer 2 pieces of advice. And then that's your cutoff point right there, where you say, okay, I'm not going to tell them step to step how to walk through, and I'm not going to do it for them. So that's where you monetize your product or service. And when I think about what you're doing, you have a couple of different things here, and they've got to be separate. So the second thing that you were talking about, the thing that you're trying to get going, that would be, hey, I offer a free consultation. I offer a breakthrough call to talk through what your challenges are here. Then at the end of that breakthrough call, it's really just saying, I believe I can help you, and I'd like to share with you, if you want to resolve this situation, I can help you through this, and this is what my services are. So that's what I would say just in general about your situation. And again, I'm offering you an opportunity to do a free consultation to talk through that. And then if you get on that consultation, I'm going to hear you. I'm going to offer a couple of pieces of advice. And then I'm going to say, hey, if you want this done for you, or if you really want to dig into all the steps and nitty gritty of this, here's the plan that I have for you that you could step into. All right. Thanks for those questions. Thank you. All right. So ladies, the way that we're going to end this today is we've gotten a chance for me to show you a strategy map. That is important for you to go and add legs to. Add more streets, add more content and more thought. This will be your structure and focus for your businesses. But if you want to get help and you want to go faster and you want to be profitable faster, here's your opportunity. So we do offer partnerships, and these are the done for you services. We have a turnkey program that if you wanted to today, you could invest $12,000 and you would get a ton of done for you. And some of you have done Ready, Set, Succeed before. You've done the turnkey program, and it really got you up and running. Catherine is one of those. Esther is one of those. Rachel is one of those. You can even break that down, and maybe there's just a specific area where you need help. Maybe you need a website design that works for you while you sleep. You can absolutely talk to me about that, and we'll get that done for you so that you can really focus on what you're designed to focus on. You may be a do-it-yourselfer, and that's absolutely fine. We do have a business membership that is very powerful, very hands-on, And it goes beyond just strategy like we did today. We get to the nuts and bolts of how to do this. We have a membership that starts at $99 a month. It's very rich. Raise your hand if you're part of our business membership community. Yep, we've got ladies here who are part of that. And then we also offer workshops. So we do have one that's coming up. Let's say that you're not ready to commit to a membership and that you want to just get a little bit more. So we do have an intensive session. It's an all-day session that's coming up Friday, April the 25th. And it is zoomed in on business development and selling services. So the last two legs of our strategy session today, we're going to do deep dives into that and get very practical. So if you are interested in these, all you have to do is text me. So my number is there at the bottom. You can write that down, 317-832-9008. And if you are interested in talking about one of these opportunities, you can text me. Now, if you text me today, I will give you that next intensive workshop for $97, which it's about to change to $297. So no matter what, you don't have to pick a partnership. You don't have to do a membership. Regardless, I'm going to give you this creative business development selling services intensive session for $97. But you have to text me today. If it comes tomorrow, then that deal is off the table and it's going to go for what our current rate is. You can also text me if you want to book a follow-up consult as a result of this strategy session. We can talk about your strategy map and hashing that out. You can get practical tips, and then I can talk to you about how we can help you to really accelerate your business goals and to get to the place of being both purposeful and profitable. Anybody have any thoughts or comments? I'd love to hear from my members. I would love for our members to share what your experience has been with working with the VIP Center.
I would say working with the VIP Center has been really transformational in my life, especially in regards to having community of people that think like I do, because as entrepreneurs, we're oddballs in a lot of ways. And so it's really great to have community. And I'm a remote member. I'm out here in Pennsylvania. So I would say even if you're not in the local indie area, you can still get a lot out of this membership.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Anyone else? Catherine?
We wouldn't have a business if it wasn't for Angie and the VIP Center. I started during the pandemic and I just really got into resistance and shut down. And Angie helped me get my business started again. We did a webinar, we did the website. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you enough. And the networking for me has just been invaluable because I get to meet so many wonderful people, share my business, hear what their business is. And I can tell I promote the VIP Center to anybody who's interested. So, yes.
Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate that so much. All right. Karen?
Yes, I have to say one of the things about the VIP Center and Angie is just like today, I always walk away with a more clear vision, a more clear focus, and I walk away with nuggets. And the thing I like about the VIP Center is when we are entrepreneurs, we have the overwhelm. And we have so much coming at us that sometimes we don't realize some of the head trash that we need to work on, some of the different mindset. And Angie's expertise in this is she not only helps us with our focus on our business strategy, but also on our mental focus of where we need to be. And then many of the ladies in this group I have gotten to know over the years, and I find them to be very supportive. I would also encourage you to join our community or at least give us a second chance and try something else.
Oh, I love that. Thank you, Karen. All right, ladies. Thank you so much for being on the session today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you all.